It's a seagull, but a puppet has to worn on a glove. Little fine fishing lines to make the wings move like that. Sometimes they make a mess. Look at that, down there. Oh, look, he's made a mess. Put it away, put it away. So this is one of a series of little puppet toys I thought, which I picked up over the years. Most of them go on gloves, but not all of them. Certainly the next one doesn't. But it's a very nice idea to have one actually on a glove, so when you're holding it, it's all ready to use. And you can have one of these messes to put on your head or on the shoulder, or just on the ground as if it's made a bird mess. So lovely idea. So I like that. It's a well constructed toy for children. Here's a very special one. It's not really for children, but they can watch it, but it's a bit difficult for their fingers. It's the trouble. It's a lovely company down in the West Country, Ricordi, who are making these wonderful things out of quite heavy metal, all melted, all welded together and so on. And it's got a Punch and Judy show. There's Punch, like you see at the seaside, and there's Judy, with the baby, of course. One of the other characters in it was a policeman. He appeared. I don't really recognise it. It's a little devil of some sort, I think it is, or just a bad man or something. And then you can have Punch and his wife coming up together, and you can have all four if you want to. But it's a very beautiful, lovely little thing to do. It's one of the smallest of the puppet toys I've got in my collection, and it works so well. It's quite heavy, incidentally. It's all been cast in a very heavy leather type material, so very beauty. Now, a very early one I picked up is really meant for very small children because they've got small enough hands to put in these finger holes here, which I find difficult with my large hands. But it's quite sweet because the mouth opens like that, a lovely pink mouth, and the little hand is, if I can get my fingers further in, look as though they're cleaning its ears and so on. And it's got a bit of character. Those eyes are lovely, aren't they? But a small child had a lot of fun with that. I can't quite get the... Oh, yes, there we are. That's a bit better. Here we are. He's talking to you now. And yes, I can hear what you're saying. Yes, I remember that. Yep, and so on. You know, you can play with them. It's a finger puppet. Very small children, just made out of knitted material. And it works very well. This next one is something I devised myself in a way. I had two of these toys which require sticks in them. They've got a stick and something coming out of this thing and coming out of this thing. I just put them together by throwing one of the sticks away and fixing the other one onto the bottom end of the stick. And now we've got really two bits of fun, both sort of puppet type things. This is Thomas the Tank Engine who's going to come out. Thomas the Tank Engine. He's going to come out of the tunnel. Chuff, 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 chuff. Get his middle chimney out of there. He's better like that, that's right. And you get him to puff, 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 puff. Very nice. And he goes back into the tunnel, going backwards, I suppose. That's a bit of fun. But Thomas the Tank Engine emerging from a tunnel. In the other end, we've got a completely different character altogether, not a train, but a figure from, well, I think you'll recognise them. Oh, yes, Beatrix Potter. Look at that. Isn't that charming? And you can move it around a bit by twiddling the stick left and right as if it's moving its hands and it's reading something or knitting something, or it's a lovely character, isn't it, from Beatrix Potter's lovely tales. But I've put it on the back end of one to make it have two for the pleasure of one type of arrangement, and it works very well. I've kept them like that. This is a very adventurous one, which I found quite tricky to operate, but it's certainly very clever. I'll try with my this hand, I think. The idea is, this hand, when you put your fingers in the holes there, hold it up like that, the top of the fingers, which is gloves, looks like the top end of your fingers. If I get it a little bit further down, it would be more realistic like that. But now what you've got to do is, you've got quite good control over at least three of the limbs, the two hands, the head, and there's one leg which is a bit lazy. It doesn't have a thing going through it. But it's a lovely idea to make things operate, and you have such a fun making it perform and do little things. So that's quite a complicated one there, because you can make it perform very nice little motions and actions, and imagine a little storyline with it as well. So a beautiful idea, and very well executed too, and a rubber type sleeve to go on it. Very, very well designed and quite unusual. Quite unusual. There's a lovely company in America called Folk Manus who make brilliant, absolutely brilliant little ones. This is a lovely example of their work. There's a basket here which holds a little secret. Can we see what's inside? Well, you lift the lid, you hold it with his hand, lift the lid, and up come three mice. Look at that. Three of them. 1, 2, and 3. We'll get the finger all the way in, that's right. 1, 2, and 3, that's better. three mice, three blind mice, now because they can see very well, and they go into the basket again and shut them up, and then they can burst out like that and start performing or singing a chorus or something like that. But for children, that's absolute heaven, because they've got three fingers with three mice, and the other hand, the rest of the hand holds the basket like that, and just the other one flips the lid over the other hand. Lots and lots of effects you can get from that. That's the best part of it. Then there's a boxing type. Well, that's more like boys' fun, I think. It's one of these little figures. This is Rambo, typical Rambo type. His head's a bit askew now after all these years. It's on a spring, the head, so he's looking to one side, but he's actually boxing to the front of his body there. And he's going to push. Oh, look. His hands are doing all sorts of things. Oh, goodness me. Oh, that goes in and out. His hands going a bit wild. He's a bit wild, actually. Anyway, it's a lot of fun, because just with that, your finger could go in the very top like that to hold the head back and forward. It's quite a busy little puppet, that one. I think a lot of fun for boys to play, and they can box people's faces with it, and that's not so nice, but there we are. And the last one is an ingenious bit of design work, which I didn't realise what it was. I was looking at it. It looked like a dustbin, which has got little handles to it. It's got something inside, but it looks like an ordinary looking dustbin, except that when you put your fingers underneath, up pops, it's called Home Sweet Home, up pops a teddy bear, complete with the movements. You've got a finger for the head, and you make his head move up and down, and you've got his two little paws to do things like that. So isn't that charming? He can cover his eyes as if he's trying to hide from you and so on. But it's all held within a dustbin lid, and when you're finished with it, you take him back into the dustbin. That's a lovely idea. He disappears as if he's never been seen before. What an idea. I love the idea of popping out from a dustbin suddenly, and there he is, wow, doing his job as a puppet. Straight from a dustbin. Have you ever seen that before?